Yes, as I told you, let us define foolish. There's a time when President Trump used certain colorful words against Africans, and they chose to take offense, and many of them hated Trump. But for some people like us, we're always going to go ahead, disciplinarian people like us, objective people and sophic people like us who just do not see the color gray, but take the trouble to understand what makes the color gray, because there are 50 shades of gray. So why are you giving me one shade of gray when yet if you gave me black and white, I can come up with my own favorite shade of gray? I mean, all of us, they say variety is the spice of life, and all of us might be having our own different shade of gray. So President Trump used that kind of language, and he was saying the systems that many Africans are striving to get into America are the systems that, as once upon a time, a selfless man, a munificent man got up and said, let me fight very hard. I repeat this, I might not be here, but maybe my children, maybe my grandchildren are going to enjoy this. And those systems are there in America. Leave alone the problems that America has. America also has its own share of problems. When I say this, it does not mean that I say America is flawless. But at least they've reached a certain level where everyone looks at them as that place where the dreams will come true. If it's a lie, then they've also mastered the craft of telling that lie, because it takes a proficient liar in order for them to lie and get people believe their lie. You know, there's nothing in life that is easy. Everything is complex. Everything is hard. So when Trump came up and said such words, people got offended. Most Africans say they do not want Trump. But it is only after you are compelled to be in a certain hard condition, then you're going to manage. But every time you're given an option to run out of it, then you're going to always run out of it. One time our president said he doesn't believe in American soldiers. When they go to fight, they're given parachutes, they're given so many extraction options that in case the mission goes really haywire and goes bad, they have quite a number of chances for them to survive. And he said, but for them, there were soldiers who went to die. So you fight to make sure that you win, so that you do not fall to the second place, which is your death. And if we all had that mentality that we're going to make it in Africa, then you're going to find that most Africans are going to make it, because that's one place that an American once upon a time was, and they managed to make America who they are. Now, we have a president in West Africa. I've been all the time watering this down and avoiding to talk about it and converse about it, because I live in the eastern coast of Africa. Many of you in America do not understand that Africa is one big continent with many countries, and there's an east and west coast. So I come from the east coast, and most especially what makes even Africa more intricate, we are Anglophone and Francophone. Now, the eastern coast is Anglophone. The western coast is Francophone. And in most cases, the information that's going to be coming from the West Coast is going to come distorted and inaccurate. So we've been hearing things like Traore has banned the colonial judicial wigs. Traore has asked the French troops to leave Burkina Faso. Traore is now building hospitals and doing all these things and so many other things. And then also the many survived assassinations. I do not have facts about that, much facts about that. So that's the reason why I've been avoiding to really put my word onto it. But let's look at it contextually. If Traore is really doing these things, and indeed maybe they've exaggerated the times that he has to be that he survived assassinations, but there are times he's survived assassinations. Why is he getting assassinated? It's because much as the West says it is helping us, it believes in human rights. When they're at the UN Council, they talk about this whole TWAD kind of talk about human rights, how they want to stabilize Africa, how they are building schools in Africa, roads and infrastructure in Africa. But they're far away from that. All they want is Africa to be poor. And Africa, where it is right now, is the will of the West. Because if Africa stands on its 2 feet and stabilizes, then there will be no Africa. There will be no, rather, Europe. There will be no exploitation for Europe. So they fight very hard to make sure that Africa is a battle dome. Africa is the hub of pestilence and disease. Africa is the hub of bickering and bad governance. Africa is the hub of corruption. That way, they can manage to make it. You see those Macrons wearing those suits and everything, and the British prime ministers and everything. Those people want nothing good for you, a black person. Nothing. All they want is you to be in a position where you're going to be begging for breadcrumbs, and then they can benefit from that. So we have a president like Trump who gets up and says, go back, gives us bitter words of truth. So that's why I come to an African and call them onto the table. Look at me, your fellow black-skinned people, Africa, America, wherever you are. Who is the better person? The Trump who gets up and gives you a bitter pill full of truth, or Macron who gets up and gives you a sweet pill of deceit? Who is a better person? Africans, let us grow up. Let us stop blaming the world for our problems, because now the time has gone. It's been 60 years since we all attained independence. Until when are we going to keep on here fulminating and crying about how oppression, how these people have oppressed us, yet now we have the power? Let us start thinking smarter. Stop looking at social media and keep on scrolling for funny videos. Look at sensible videos, entrepreneurial videos, videos that are calling for Africa to wake up, videos that are hailing people like Traore. Why do people in Europe want to assassinate Traore? First and foremost, by the way, they assassinated, for those of you who were not there, they assassinated Thomas Sankara. He was bringing the same systems. Now it's Traore. A child in West Africa takes a long time to eat chocolate, yet West Africa is the hub of chocolate. Yet a child on the streets in France lives with chocolate. For how long are you black-skinned people going to keep on locking yourselves in the back seat? I'm Dr. Sog.